Hey folks, some people just have no respect for other people's time. We're going to talk about that in the latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending May 17th, 2023. Very recently, working with a buyer client, we put in an offer on a home that had an offer night. So it's offer night, including our offer, there were 11 offers. So it was a fairly busy night, it's supposed to be. Now, the listing read, offers on such and such a night, offers will be reviewed at 7 p.m., please register by 6. And that's what most people did, because I could see each time there's a new offer, it says, another offer registered, and the majority were done before 6. One or two was just slightly after 6. I'd called the agent when the offer came in to confirm, as please respond to my email. And during the day, the listing agent twice sent emails out saying, please register your offer by 6. Offers will be reviewed at 7. So it's a little bit past 7 now, 7:10, 7:15. It's about 7:30. I figured, maybe they're not done reviewing all 11 offers by now, but they kind of got to be almost there. So at about 7:30, I call the agent. He answers. Sometimes I'm a little surprised when they should be busy looking at offers and they actually answer the phone. I normally get a text back saying, we'll call you shortly, still reviewing offers. But he answered. And I said, so how's it going with the offers? He says, oh, we haven't started reviewing them yet. Now, remember, it's 7:30 and they were supposed to start at 7. I go, oh, when are you going to start? And let me just backtrack. It's often the case where if they say they're starting at 7, look, maybe it's 7:15, maybe it's 7:30. That's kind of normal business right now. He says, oh, the seller still isn't ready. They're busy doing other things. Hopefully we can get to it 8:30 tonight. And if we don't get to it tonight, then we'll do it first thing in the morning. I said, what? What are you talking about? You twice emailed today and everybody, all these 11 offers that sent you are expecting you to review it at 7. If you're a bit late, 8, fine. Why not send a memo to everybody? But you're talking 8:30. If you don't get to it tonight, maybe we'll do it first thing in the morning. And I'm thinking about this as he's talking. For a little bit, I was speechless. What are you talking about? Have you no respect? Has the seller no respect for the time these buyers put in to put the offer together, get it to you, discuss the price, the research some of these buying agents have done to figure out, what's the best way to compete. There's other offers. All these buyers are waiting. This is what I would call an entry-level type home. They're not so much an investment type property. These buyers are excited. They're waiting. They're hoping. They know that they're competing. And it's like the seller doesn't give a crap. How about some respect? Now, we all know it's a seller's market. We all know sellers are kind of in charge when we talk about a seller's market. But sellers and your agents, come on, show some respect for the people that are taking the time to bid on your home. There's only going to be one buyer, but show some respect to people that care enough to want to buy your home. That's what this is about. Just a bit of respect for other people's time. You knew a week in advance. You guys, the sellers, you picked the offer night and the time. And I'm assuming you did it according to your schedule. Show some respect. If you think this video can help somebody please pass it along. If you get value from what I'm talking about here, subscribe. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Let's get into the numbers. Spring season is here. Everybody's excited when it comes to real estate. Spring season, realtors are excited, home sellers are excited, buyers are excited. Everybody's always got this idea of spring season. The reality is, spring season, all that good stuff we think about when it comes to real estate, really hasn't happened for the last 4, maybe 5 years. This year's no different. It's now spring season. I keep talking about we expect more, it's a spring season. Nothing's happening. And actually, this week that I'm talking about, week ending May 17th, looks like things have kind of taken a turn the way they've happened every spring for a number of years now. So help me to understand what's going on here, because it's really tricky to put my finger on it, why everything has changed spring season time. So here's Vaughan. Detached properties broken down by week for a whole year. 34 detached properties were sold in Vaughan for week ending May 17th. Why are sales coming down? We're in the spring market. 5 properties sold at $2 million or more, which is way down from the previous week. For 3 weeks in a row, we're at 13 properties selling at $2 million or more. Now we're at 5. Well, if we look at that luxury market there and then look at average sold price came down. It's really easy here just to quickly zero in and say, well, it's because we sold much fewer properties at $2 million or more. That's why average sold price came down. Okay, I'll buy that. Let's see how that holds up when we talk about the other cities, Richmond Hill and Markham. So average sold price came down. When we compare average sold price to the peak was back in February 2022. The peak was $2.225 million. We're 17% lower than the peak pricing. And 17%, we throw percentages around. I put a number to it. 17% is about $370,000 off of peak. It's a big difference. Well, prices have come down. They were going up quite a bit. Now for this 1 week ending May 17, average sold prices came down. Now if we compare to last year, why there was no spring, well, that's really easy to understand. That's when interest rates started going up. That's when all the announcements, buyers backed off. Okay, but the previous year, January and February was exciting. Spring, things came down or flattened. The year before that, the same thing. We have an exciting winter market these days. It's not so much a spring market, and I think it's happening again. The spring curse, I think, is starting to happen again. So compared to last year, $1,856,000 is 1% lower than where we were last year with average sold price. The median price is 2% lower. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. And you could see prices have been trending up. But now we're going to, if in the following week, again, prices go down, we're going to see that trend line going down. But they have been trending up over the last 3 months. Sales, 34 were sold. Sales have been coming down, but yet 65% sold at list price or more. So the market is still very competitive. Listings, we listed 79. There's 4 or 5 weeks here. Listings really haven't changed that much. We're not seeing that influx of new listings like we would expect in the spring market. Months of inventory for 3 weeks now has been increasing. Now we're now sitting at 1.5 months of inventory. It was coming down, prices were going up. If this continues, we're going to see prices flatten or start to come down with months of inventory going up. Here's Richmond Hill. Let's see if we explain this price drop, because prices went from 2.1 million down to 1,943,000. That's the average sold price for Richmond Hill. 34 detached properties were sold, so it's down by 1 from the previous week. So let's just say it's about the same as the previous week. The amount of properties, however, selling at $2 million or more went up, not down. It went up by 1. So 14 properties sold at $2 million or more. You figure in that scenario, average sold price would go up. It didn't. Average sold price came down. 1,943,000 is 10% lower than our peak pricing of 2,156,000, and 10% represents $213,000 lower than peak pricing. Compared to last year though, 1,943 is 7% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. Let me go back. It's not 7% lower, it's 7% higher than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price is 9% higher than where we were a year ago. For about 3 months though, if we look at the dotted line, average prices have been kind of flat, but now they're starting to turn down a little bit. Of the 34 that did sell, 77% sold at list price or more. So average price came down. It's difficult to say that the market is changing in a vast way when you still have more than 3/4 of the property selling at list price or more. It's still very, very competitive. Listings, where are they? 55 were listed, 53 the week before, 61 the week before that. We're not seeing the sellers coming onto the market. And so the few buyers that are buying, and it seems like there's so much competition when 3/4 are buying at list price or more, but we're just not seeing the inventory coming on. Months of inventory sitting at 1.1 months of inventory. If we kind of look back over the last 4 or 5 weeks, it's gone up and down by 1 or 2 each week. It really hasn't changed much at 1.1 months of inventory. That helps to explain why prices have stayed kind of flat. Here's Markham. So remember, Vaughan, property selling at $2 million or more, came way down. Richmond Hill went up by 1. Markham stayed the same. We had 11 properties selling at $2 million or more, same as the previous week. 42 properties were sold, up from the previous week, but pretty flat over the previous 3 to 4 weeks. Prices have been coming way down. Average sold price now in Markham is $1,119,000. Why? Why did prices come down? We're 15% off from peak pricing, which represents about $315,000. Compared to last year, however, $1,819,000 is 2% higher than last year's average sold price for the same week. The median price is basically no change from the median price of this time a year ago. And average sold prices, if we look at the dotted line, has been increasing, and median price has been increasing over the previous 3 months. 42 were sold, we said. 81% sold at list price or more. That's going to feel like pretty much all of them. Each house you're trying to buy, you're competing on. 64 were listed. Listings is actually coming down, making the market tighter. Months of inventory has dropped. We're now sitting at 0.9 months of inventory, dropped from the previous week. But if we go back just a couple more weeks, it was sitting at 0.6, 0.7 for a while. So that's keeping prices up. It's difficult to understand why prices have been coming down though from 1 week, and it's across the board. City of Toronto prices went up, but if you watch our report on Peel and Durham region, same thing. For the 1 week, prices went down. In Vaughan region, Vaughan, Richmond Hill, Markham, prices came down. Here's condos. This is for all of York region. 66 condos were sold. 2 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price came down from previous week, now sitting at $688,000, which is 14% lower than when we had our peak price back in February last year. 14% represents $107,000 off of the peak price. Compared to last year, we're off by 1,000 rounded. There's virtually no change from where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price is 1% higher than where the median price was a year ago. Of the 66 that sold, almost half, 47% sold at list price or more. Listings similar to last week at 100, or same as last week at 127 new condo listings. And months of inventory climbed a bit, now sitting at 1.2 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary. Now, I have made a change on how I present the months of inventory chart. I don't know if you noticed it on each of the cities I just went through, but it's been widely kind of accepted that a balanced market is between 4 months and 6 months of inventory, and that's how I've been presenting it. But we're in a different era of real estate. We've not been used to months of inventories being at 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, like so low. And we've been in this type of market now over and over again for several years. And we saw it when prices started to decline last year, that the minute we got to like 2.5 and 3 months of inventory, it really was very much a balanced market, the way prices were behaving, the way buyers and sellers were behaving. And so I've adjusted, instead of between 4 to 6 months, I'm calling it that a balanced market is between 3 and 5 months of inventory. So below 3 months is a seller's market. And you'll see as these months of inventory, at some point, if they do go up, as we start approaching 2.5 months, we get to 3 months, it's really going to have the characteristics where we used to be at 4 months of inventory. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.